Alright, so here we are at the soldering station once again. This time we're gonna solder the bullet connectors and get everything prepared. So what I like to do is like to get my hot soldering iron, woohoo, nice and hot, my 40-watt iron. So we like to get that going there and get some helping hands here. These are good. You can use anything like a block of wood with a hole in it. And again, I dropped something. That is how crazy I am. But thank God I have another bag here that has everything in it. So let me pull another one out. Wow. I keep dropping things today. Things don't like me. So, whatever, put those aside. So you want to start out by putting a bullet connector in here. Before you heat it up, you can do this, you cannot, you can do whatever. Just don't mind this thing here. It's loose. I've had it for years. It's an ancient one. It's like the ancient times. So what I'm gonna do, because on his aircraft, his old ESC on his aircraft, they were like this basically. They were all put in like this. So I'm just gonna try to cut these wires down about halfway, just so I can minimize all the clutter and all the wires. So I'm just gonna go one by one and cut them all about the same height, and then we're gonna do the same. I just try to do that once, then I'm gonna cut them. So there's 3 pieces cut. They're all about the same size. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip them now. My nails aren't long enough. So you just grab this here. That didn't work. We're going to do this. And strip a bit of insulation off. Do it on all 3 of them. You can get an X-Acto knife too. This would be a lot better, but I'm gonna do it the Greek way because I'm Greek. So just go like this, and then I didn't cut through. Fail. Pull it off. There you go. Now we're going to twist counterclockwise. We're going to measure our depth here just to make sure that our bullet connectors are going to fit. Yep. Some of them just need a little cut down, but whatever, that's fine. You can always just grab your snips and just go like this and make a mess everywhere. Retwist again. Yeah, for me it's just getting everywhere, but I got a vacuum so I can vacuum it up really nice and fast. So, cut this one here too. I'm gonna try this time. Probably is gonna fail, but yeah, fail. Just flattened it out. Now it's gonna look all jaggedy and stuff when you first go to cut it and whatever. It's just all about nice and neat and tidy, and really, in theory, you don't need too much to actually show on the actual wire. Like you don't need to have a lot of wire exposed. It's all there. It's all the same. So before I put it on, obviously you want to tin and go through the regular procedure that you would. Make sure that they're turned, they're nice and tight, and they're all in there. And I will start tinning them ASAP. So the one that's in here, we're just going to tin now. Clean off your tip. Make sure your soldering iron is all good. Nice and right. Tin your iron. and then, you know, touch, and then put a bit of solder on the tip, and then also a tiny bit where the wire is, and let the heat get in there. And then what you want is for the solder to melt right in there. And then when it melts right in there, see that? It just starts taking it. So, yeah, taking it. Whoa. That's nice. It's a nice word. Yeah, she takes that alright. So, yep, you just do the same with both and make sure they're not too hot so where it's going to burn you. So I'm just going to touch it quick and it gets easier. Soldering takes time. You can't pick it up in like a heartbeat unless you're like mechanically inclined. It's just a bit of trial and error, or as Ricky says it from Trailer Park Boys, denial and error. It just takes a bit of denial and error. But this is what you should see in the end. I'll show you guys. You should see a nice solder joint looking like this. If you don't see this, like how good this is while you're soldering, then yeah, that good. If you don't see it like that, then you should definitely go redo them, because solder joints are everything. That's, you know, one of the top 15 tips of multi-rotors, is to always make sure that your solder joints are good. If your solder joints aren't good, aircraft's gonna fall out of the sky, no matter what size it is, or no matter, you know, how it is. It's gonna fall out of the sky because stuff will vibrate loose, and it's, you know, it's the same thing on copters. Your maintenance has to be really strict. You have to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to come out of the sky and kill you. Like, you know, stuff has happened in the past. I know one guy got killed in 2013 with a huge T-Rex 700, and that was pretty unfortunate, but that was not due to a solder joint. That was due to the aircraft boomeranging out of control. So, yeah. Now that that's all tinned up and good, it's a good idea to tin your bullet connectors, because it just makes sense, because you don't want a cold solder joint. And you want to put solder, you basically just want to heat up your bullet connector, and then you can either go from the top to, or you can go from the side. There's a little hole on the side, which, there it is on the top here. Each bullet connector has a little hole. I'm not sure if you guys can see that on your screen, but there's a little hole there. You guys can probably see it. So I'm gonna feed my solder down through the hole, and I'm pretty sure that's why they, you know, made it so that it could be like that. So I'm gonna move this a little more up so you guys can see this here. Just gonna start feeding her in. I'm gonna tin this to, again, I'm going to tin it, clean it, and then tin it again. It's always important to keep your tip clean, because a clean tip disperses heat really well. So I'm going to put this right in there. And how it slips and stuff sometimes, so you just got to be careful. And then now that there's solder in there, you're just going to do that. You're just going to feed it in there. Don't put too much. That seems about right, and it's all smoking like it's lighting it up in here. So yeah, you don't want to do that too crazy. You just want to do it to all the rest of the ones. I'll do one here just to show you guys how you do it. So that's one bullet connector. And what you're going to do with this is you have to make sure that the heat is even. So you have to start in one spot and make sure that it spreads. If not, it's a cold solder joint. So I'm going to hold the heat right on top here. It's on the end of the bullet connector, and then I'm just going to slide it in. You just got to wait until it liquefies. And then once it liquefies, then you're golden. And you can see I just added a little bit of solder there so that it liquefies. And then you can put it in. In this case, my wire's a little long, so I got to cut it down a little bit. it's all just getting it perfect. And I'm kind of a picky person, so yeah, I'm picky. So there you go. And you hold it there until you feel it harden up, and you can see it harden up too. There you go. That's the finished one there. And what you would do next is you would cut a piece of heat shrink tubing and put it right over. So I'm going to show you that too. Now, keep in mind, I got a whole damn roll of heat shrink here. You're probably thinking, how the hell do you know which size to use? You got to find the one that, you know, that will just fit over it. Like this one here will just fit over, but it has a bit of space. But keep in mind, when you put it in, it should smoothen right over like that. So this is our size. And I should never put it in like that, but I did, just to show you guys. So I'm going to take the amount that I need. I'm just going to line it up here because it's nice and easy for me. We're going to line it up and say, okay, I need roughly about that much. And a little bit extra is always better because you want to cover everything. And you want it to go over the bullet connector plus over the end too, just to give it a bit of strength and rigidity. So I'm going to cut it down a little shorter. I'm going to find the side that's not cut that well, which is this side here. I'm just going to cut down a couple of millimeters more. That looks just about right. Now it should be like this. Now I don't have a heat gun, so I'm going to use the heat gun, the heat iron. So once I'm done with that, I will come back and show you guys the finished product and how it looks. So stay tuned.